Yo, welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. Today's show, man, we got a great one lined up for you guys. Once you come across this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you'll know when Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger on this podcast where we do sports, roundtable talk, hot topics, and the marriage chronicles. You know what my mantra is: tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. I appreciate everybody that's in the comments. I see everybody that's in the comments, and I reply to all comments. I read the comments, hashtag salute. And, you know, a lot of people be coming in the comments saying, why are you wasting your time? You know, talking about Jason Whitlock, entertaining Jason Whitlock. You know, these are just my point of views from what I see in Jason Whitlock. We all can agree to disagree, but, you know, everybody has an opinion, just like Jason Whitlock has an opinion. And I have an opinion, too. But before we get off into this video, this is sponsored by...
This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Yeah, once again, man, shout out to my man Brian Kelly and his wife over there at True Choice Insurance, man. Y'all visit them on the website at www.truechoiceinsurance.com for all your insurance needs, and let them know KSAP sent you. Well, before we get off into it, man, it's been some disturbing things that I've seen with Jason Whitlock across the internet. His display of trying to expose people. Like he said, if Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A don't shut up, he's going to expose the truth of what happened to Shannon Sharpe at, you know, FS1. And a lot of people came in the comments and said, well, you know, Jason Whitlock got ties with FS1, so he knows the history. He knows why Shannon Sharpe got, you know, fired. He does have access to his HR files. That is a bunch of baloney. He shouldn't have access to Shannon Sharpe's HR files, even if he has ties to FS1 and Undisputed. There's no way. That's confidential information. So whoever's releasing that information to Jason Whitlock is a bunch of baloney. And I call Jason Whitlock fraud on this, because he's just like y'all said, his opinions, he's getting a storyline. And, you know, it's absurd for some of the things that he says. But let's turn the page on that, man. This is something that needs to be talked about, man. I know everybody watched that, you know, rivalry game last night, in-state rivalry game between Colorado and Colorado State. You know, leading up to it, it was some headlines. The narrative was changing, and things that the head coach said leading up to playing Colorado. You know what Jade Norvell said. I don't have to repeat that, but everybody knows what he said. And a lot of people took offense to it. And, you know, Deion, he took it with a grain of salt. But then after the game was over, his post-game press conference, he was like, you know, his mama did raise him right. So when you start, you know, throwing your mama in there, it's personal. But let's talk about this guy, Jason Whitlock. You guys, we watched the game last night, and we watched the long pass by Deion Sanders to Travis Hunter on the sideline, right? And it was a pass interference call. The ball had already hit the tarp. And then Travis Hunter was illegally hit, which, you know, drew the 15-yard penalty, you know, unnecessary roughness, hitting a defenseless receiver. It was a cheap shot. A lot of people went to Twitter and said it was a cheap shot. But this guy, Jason Whitlock, seems to amaze me. This is what Jason Whitlock had to say about that situation. I honestly don't know. I would like some real questions asked. What was the injury in the first quarter? And why did he quickly return to the game? Why did he not go to the hospital at halftime? Is playing both ways too much for Travis? Somebody says, so you're assuming what? Then it goes on to say, Story says he will be out a couple weeks. We can all speculate, but I'd rather prefer a direct answer from Colorado. Blaming the hit is speculation at this point. He said blaming the hit is speculation at this point. Played the second quarter, played early in the third, and I believe, and then mysteriously exited for the hospital. Somebody replied, a collapsed lung takes about an hour sometimes to show the real effects. Happened to me after I rode a concrete truck. I was fine and then was not and had to be rushed to the hospital. Then he goes on to say, y'all act like it's common for a football player to sit through halftime and exit the hospital early in the third quarter. When's the last time someone went to the hospital during a game and wasn't immediately after the on-field incident? Somebody responded back to him. Sometimes in a game, you get hit like that and bounce back up, but an injury can come in, new pain will come later, and I think that's probably what happened to Travis Hunter. So basically, what he's trying to insinuate is that Deion Sanders is the culprit of the reason why Travis Hunter went to the hospital. Come on, guys. Read between the lines. All the stuff that Jason Whitlock has said about Deion ever since he's taken over this Colorado Buffaloes football team has been nothing but negative press. And when he had his podcast, when he had Brett Favre and Warren Sapp on there, he don't think Deion is the greatest corner to ever to play. That's his opinion. And I respect that. And the reason why, when Warren Sapp asked him, is because of his arrogance. Not his on-field play, it's his arrogance. That's why he's not the best corner that ever played the game. And then the comments that, he made after they won the TCU game. He said the way Deion acted at the press conference. And then also in his soliloquy, he said he was questioning Deion's faith beliefs. Now, you questioning a grown man's faith beliefs. Then he said his insecurities. So y'all know what Jason Whitlock is all about, but read between the lines. He's trying to insinuate that the hit did not cause Travis Hunter to go to the hospital. He is blaming Deion Sanders for Travis Hunter going to the hospital. Now, in his little Twitter rampage that he went on this morning, he stated that is the reason being that he's being overplayed. Now, when he says he's being overplayed, who is he insinuating that to? Who is he referring to? Deion Sanders is the head coach. Travis Hunter hasn't had a problem these first two games, and all of a sudden you take a blindside hit out of nowhere when your body is exposed and you take a hit like that. It shakes up your insides. Yeah, he bounced back up. Yeah, he got back on the field after a couple plays. He got back in there. But like one of the guys responded to him on Twitter, said a collapsed lungs, it can take an effect 30 minutes to an hour down the road, and then your body just gives out on you. And that's what happened to Travis Hunter. Once the adrenaline went down after halftime, the adrenaline went down, started the third quarter, they had to take him to the local hospital. For Jason Whitlock to have serious motives on the downfall of Deion Sanders, wanting Deion Sanders to lose so bad, and anytime he wins, he tries to find a storyline to make it look bad on Deion, like he's shattering the kids going out there playing, and it's making it all about him. Y'all heard what Deion said in his post-game press conference. He said he can be petty, but he ain't got time for that. He said, his blessing is not my blessing. So I don't get off into that. So whatever Jason Whitlock is trying to do, his storyline, for him to even come out and even insinuate something, for him to even go on Twitter and to say all that, and people had to come for him and put him in check, that says a lot. I don't know what Jason Whitlock's motive is. I know a lot of people will say down in the comments, why you still wasting your time on Jason Whitlock? But I found that very, very insulting that you're going to blame Deion Sanders for Travis Hunter's injury. That could have happened to anybody. This guy was going down the sideline, body exposed on a ball that already hit the ground, and you have somebody coming out of nowhere hitting you right in your midsection while your body is exposed. Make it make sense to me. Then he goes on to say that, you know, he did not leave into the third quarter. Well, you know, Travis Hunter's name wasn't mentioned for a long time because he was on the sideline for a minute before he got back into the field of play. Then he felt like he couldn't go after halftime. The adrenaline wore off, and they took him to the local hospital. But for you to insinuate that Deion Sanders is the main culprit why Travis Hunter was injured, you're sadly mistaken, man. Like I said, it's things that Jason Whitlock has said, and he's added again. And for him to say them words is very egregious, man. I mean, it's Jason Whitlock, man, he's a man on a mission. He got everybody's attention, though. He got everybody's attention because of his outlandish comments that he's making on certain situations, man. And for the guys that posted the comments in, you know, my comment about, you know, Jason Whitlock, you know, he invites white people to his podcast so he can talk about black folks. I did not say that. What I said was Jason Whitlock made them references in front of Brett Favre when he is the culprit of stealing from innocent people. But you're going to sit there and, you know, disrespect Deion Sanders and question his Christian beliefs. But Brett Favre is a Christian himself. And what has he done taken from the poor? But you validating that. You have no problem with that. You don't talk about that, but you want to talk about Deion because he's changed the culture at Colorado and it's been successful, and he's doing it in a way that you don't see fit, in a way that you don't like. Deion is the same Deion. He has that pizzazz. He has that swag. He has that name, like you said, Prime, since Florida State. That's just stuck with. I don't care if he's 56. I don't care if he's 60 or 70. That's what people know him as, Prime Time or Prime. And that's what they're going to reference him. So for you to come out with your soliloquy and say the things that you said is downright outlandish. You guys let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like I said, Jason Whitlock has struck again. He's trying to say that Deion is the main culprit for the reason why Travis Hunter was sent to the emergency room. So guys, once you come across this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, turn on your post notifications, man. And all the ads that are playing, please watch all the ads. It only helps the channel grow. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.